The Super 10 of North American Big Game has quickly become the most popular award within the Grand Slam Club Ovis family of SlamQuest, and rightfully so. To accomplish the Super 10, one must do a lot of big game hunting in many different parts of North America. Furthermore, one must hunt not only this mountain species, but the broad range of antlered game, and yes, the big predators too. We're proud to have introduced the Super 10 milestone to big game hunters in late 2009, and we're excited to be able to recognize so many tonight. We'll be breaking these Super 10 awards into groups. Please hold your applause until everyone in each group has been introduced, and as your name is called, please quickly make your way to the stage. Now for our first group. It was a South Dakota bison from January 2008 that completed the Super 10 for David Alexandrowitz of Pennsylvania. One of the earliest trophies we have from David's Super 10 list include a Quebec Labrador caribou taken in 1988, a cougar from Nevada taken in 1989, and a self-guided Ohio whitetail taken in 1990. Moving a bit closer to the present, you see David with his Rocky Mountain elk from New Mexico. That was taken in 2001. Like many of our members, Kurt Bennett of Montana needed a cougar to complete his Super 10 milestone, and in November 2015, he traveled to Colorado and collected that cat. One of Kurt's earliest trophies was a mule deer taken back in 1976. For the decade of the 1980s, we want to show Kurt's Shiras moose, which he got on a self-guided hunt. And for the 1990s, you see his barren ground caribou from Alaska, also taken self-guided. In 2002, Kurt added an antelope to his growing Super 10 list, and will finish up with his muskox from 2004. Hal Crawford of North Dakota completed his Super 10 milestone in November 2014 with an impressive Rocky Mountain elk from Arizona. Backing up to some of Hal's earlier trophies, you see his barren ground caribou from Alaska's Brooks Range, taken in 1996, a Canada moose from British Columbia, taken in 1998, and a great mule deer from North Dakota he took in 2003. The next month, Hal connected on an impressive Arizona Coues deer. I would like to finish up with Hal's most recent trophy, an Alaska brown bear from Unimak Island, Alaska. Nicholas DeJoseph of Wisconsin completed his Super 10 in December 2016 with a cougar from Utah. Backing up, Nicholas took an Alaska brown bear in 1993, an American mountain goat in Alaska in 1994, and a polar bear in 1997. Nicholas added a woodland caribou to his Super 10 list in 2012, and in 2014 he arrowed an outstanding Rocky Mountain elk in Nevada. 2016 was a busy year for Victor Engel of New Hampshire, as he was able to take an Arizona cougar in February as well as a black bear and Alaska brown bear to get him to the Super 10. Backing up, you see Victor's Saskatchewan whitetail, taken in 1995, and his bison from Montana that was taken in 2001. Victor's registered multiple Rocky Mountain elk with us, but his Wyoming bull, taken in 2011, is quite impressive and the one we chose to highlight here. Tom Molesky of Indiana is next to be recognized for achieving the Super 10. The first trophy you see from Tom is the bison that he arrowed in British Columbia in 2012. Next is his big Alaska brown bear taken in 2013. That same year, Tom collected an impressive Colorado mule deer. Tom arrowed a Wyoming pronghorn in 2014, and a few weeks later, he got an Alaska Yukon moose with his bow to complete his Super 10 milestone. Longtime GSCO member Pete Mowbray of Virginia completed his Super 10 with a Canada moose from British Columbia back in 2013. Pete's done an extensive amount of hunting and has accumulated a total of 18 different North American species from the Super Slam list. You've been seeing some of those on the screen, including a Wyoming whitetail from 2002, a Coues deer taken in Sonora, Mexico in 2003, and an impressive mule deer also from Sonora taken in 2007. Pete traveled to Alaska in 2011 for a brown bear. According to our records, William Murphy of Ohio began his big game hunting career back in 1968 and completed his Super 10 in December 2015 with a mountain lion from Colorado. Earlier that same month, William added a Colorado Bison to his Super 10 list as his 9th trophy. Backing up to some of his earlier trophies, you see Williams' Mountain Caribou from British Columbia, taken in 1979, a Home State Ohio Whitetail taken in 1987, and a Rocky Mountain Elk from New Mexico in 1993. Although Williams taken several antelope over the years, his most recent one from Colorado is quite impressive. One of the first trophies Ted Preem of Minnesota registered toward his eventual Super 10 was a pronghorn from Wyoming taken back in 1976. Moving along to the 1980s, you see a Rocky Mountain Elk from Montana that Ted got in 1988. Ted collected 3 species in 2000, and they include a cougar from British Columbia, a bison from Wyoming, and an Alaska Yukon moose from Alaska. Rounding out this milestone, you see Ted with his Alaska Doll Ram, taken in 2001, that was the first leg of his eventual Grand Slam number 1187. Wisconsin's Richard Phillips completed his Super 10 in December 2015 with a bison from Nebraska. Backing up to one of his earliest trophies, you see Richard with his Quebec Labrador Caribou, taken in 2001. He traveled to British Columbia in 2004 and connected on the Canada Moose. And Richard took an impressive Home State Whitetail in November 2008 on a self-guided hunt. And the following month, he added a Wyoming Cougar to his Super 10 list. With a total of 17 animals on the Super Slam list, including a Grand Slam of North American Wild Sheep, Greg Praster completed his Super 10 milestone in 2014 with a Barren Ground Caribou from Alaska. One of Greg's earliest trophies in his quest was his Utah Cougar, taken in 1988. Moving along, Greg got a great pronghorn in Wyoming in 2009, and his bison was taken on a hunt in Colorado in 2013. Greg's most recent trophy, a Coues deer from Sonora, Mexico, came in 2016. That wraps it up for this group. Let's give them all a big round of applause. It was a Montana Cougar that completed the Super 10 for Jeremy Rusink of Alaska. He took that cat in December 2016 on a do-it-yourself hunt. As a matter of fact, each animal on Jeremy's Super 10 list was taken on a self-guided hunt, and many were in Alaska, as he is a resident and outfitter there. You saw his Barren Ground Caribou from 2002, and then a Sitka Blacktail from Kodiak Island taken in 2006. Jeremy arrowed an Alaska muskox in 2012, and in 2014, he took another Alaska trophy, a bison, which also came from Kodiak Island. Wrapping up, Jeremy arrowed an outstanding Alaska brown bear, also on Kodiak Island in 2015. Barry Rumpel of Wisconsin completed his Super 10 with Alaska Yukon moose in September 2016. That same year, he took an Alaska bison. Barry's Rocky Mountain Elk was taken in 2005 on a hunt in British Columbia. In 2011, he took both a grizzly bear from BC and a whitetail in Minnesota. The final trophy we'd like to show for Barry's is Coues deer from Mexico, taken in 2014. It was an American mountain goat from BC that completed the Super 10 milestone for David Skaggs of Idaho in November 2016. In 2006, David traveled to Alaska and added a grizzly bear to his list. The following year found David in NWT, where he connected on a mountain caribou. 2009 was a good year for David, as he got both a cougar in Idaho and finished his Grand Slam with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn in Wyoming. We'll wrap up with David's home state Idaho bison, taken in 2012. We received a call at the GSCO office back in August 2016, and the voice on the other line said, "I made it." The caller was Cynthia Smith of North Carolina. The it she was talking about was the completion of her Super 10 milestone. This was made possible by a Doll Ram from the Yukon that she took on August 2nd. Cynthia got a whitetail in 2006 to begin her Super 10 quest, and followed that up with an American mountain goat from 2009. She got a Canada moose in 2013, a cougar from Utah in 2015, and in the spring of 2016, Cynthia took a chocolate color phased black bear in Saskatchewan. Joe Stolle of Missouri completed his Super 10 in September 2015 with a muskox. Next up for Joe, you see his 1990 Alaska Yukon Moose from Alaska. And in 1992, Joe took a Doll Ram, also in Alaska. Moving a bit closer to the present, you see Joe with his mule deer, taken in 2003, and a Rocky Mountain elk from New Mexico, taken in 2013. Harvey Trueblood of Alabama was a long-term member of the GSCO staff up until March 2016 when he retired. Working with GSCO when the Super 10 became part of the SlamQuest family, it became a dream for Harvey to reach that milestone. Before Harvey's 20-year Navy career, he got his first whitetail as a farm boy in Missouri in 1962. Of course, he added several more whitetails along the way, as he and Dennis Campbell had been hunting together for more than 25 years. Harvey got an elk and mule deer in 2009 and a pronghorn in 2011. 2012 was a pretty amazing year for Harvey when he took a black bear, woodland caribou, and Canada moose. 2014 was pretty special as well, adding a mountain lion and mountain goat. That left only a Dall sheep, and Harvey got that final trophy in August 2016 in Alaska. Another familiar face at the GSCO conventions each year is Tony Ward of Monarch Taxidermy. Monarch, of course, is a diamond-level sponsor of our convention and also a sponsor of our monthly Super Slam raffle drawings. You've been seeing some of Tony's photos, including his Alaska Yukon Moose, taken self-guided in 1998, a mule deer from Utah in 1991, and a Sitka blacktail from Alaska in 2009. Tony was the lucky winner of one of our Raffle-Rama drawings at the 2012 convention for a Dall sheep, and on that hunt, he took both a great ram and a mountain caribou. Tony completed his Super 10 in September 2016 with an American mountain goat from Alaska. We now want to recognize Michael White of Arkansas for completing his Super 10 by virtue of a Nevada cougar that he got just 1 week after last year's convention. Michael traveled to Saskatchewan back in 1994 and took a big-bodied, typical 8-point whitetail. Up next is Michael's Central Canadian Barren Ground Caribou from NWT, taken in 1996. Michael collected both an Alaska brown bear and Alaska Yukon moose on the hunt in 2009. And in 2014, he hunted muskox in Nunavut and took a fine bull there. Pennsylvania's Jeff Woodley is up next, and we'll start with one of his earliest trophies from the Super 10 list, an Alberta black bear in 2003. The following year, Jeff took both an antelope in New Mexico and a unique mule deer in West Texas. 2008 was a good hunting year for Jeff, as he collected a cougar in British Columbia in January, and in September, he took an Alaska Yukon moose. Jeff completed his Super 10 in August 2016 with an American mountain goat from British Columbia. Let's give all of these Super 10 holders a big round of applause. We have held our last Super 10 holders to begin a group of their own. The reason for this is that we try to recognize archery milestones, whatever they may be, separately when we have the opportunity. Our first archery Super 10 for this evening goes to Bob Delaney of Connecticut. In 2004, Bob arrowed a pronghorn antelope in Wyoming. 2007 was a great year for Bob, in that he took a Coues steer in Mexico in January, a polar bear from Nunavut in April, and a desert bighorn in Carmen Island, Mexico in April as well. Moving closer to the present, Bob arrowed a Canada moose on a hunt in Saskatchewan in 2015, and he completed his archery Super 10 with a Tule elk from California in September 2016. You see fellow bow hunter and archery super slammer Warren Strickland in the Tule photo with Bob. Gus Maxfield of Minnesota completed his archery Super 10 in February 2016 with a mountain lion from right here in Nevada. The earliest documented trophy we have from Gus is his home state self-guided black bear, taken with a recurve bow in 1986. Gus arrowed a muskox in 2007, a Rocky Mountain elk and South Dakota mule deer in 2009, and will finish up with his pronghorn from Wyoming, taken in 2012. Let's give these archery Super 10 holders a big round of applause.